Hey, welcome to my Virgo channel. For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Laura, and I'm going to do messages from spirit. The reason why is because my readings always start off with a spiritual message, and the spiritual message is what are the psychological and emotional imbalances within this relationship? What are the karmic themes? What are the karmic contracts, if there are? What are the trauma bonds? This is why I always start my live streams with messages from spirit, because I don't know where the story is going to go. Number one, because again, spirit only tells me in the now. In the now is when I get divine guidance, and that's through my intuition, right? And that's through my psychic ability. And so the cards will depict the story, but knowing what cards come out ahead of time for the theme of the story, I don't know. And it's much like this in our everyday life experiences when we're dealing with people, right? We may know or have an idea of what's happening and or what we want to happen in our relationship, but we don't know every single element about our person or even about ourselves many times. And so I look at the spiritual issues first, because that is always going to tell me what the overall energy is, whether it's negative, whether it's positive. It also allows us to look into our own shadows, and it also allows us to be able to see what needs healing, and so that we can look at our situation from a different perception, right? Instead of looking at it as my person is abusive to me, like a lot of times someone will say, or they'll emotionally abusive to me. They're if we could say yes, that is an aspect of someone that's a narcissist, if you're in a karmic contract with a narcissist. But when we look at the underlying reasons of why we're able to detach from owning it, it doesn't mean that that we should stay and keep putting up with it. It means that we energetically disconnect from that belief. Because if we're in a relationship with someone that's making us feel less than because of their own trauma, then we can, like I said, not own it. A lot of times we wind up in relationships with people that make us live a certain way. And again, spiritual relationships do this, because spiritual relationships are karmic relationships. Karmic relationships, we tend to associate karma with bad, but karma is really just learned. So energy is fluid, so roles may be reversed. And Virgo, this is going to be for obviously not just you, but any cross watcher, as I just said, because energy is fluid. But also know that because time is fluid, also that this could be something that did happen, is happening, or will happen in the future. But if it's something that did happen, don't just disregard it, because if I'm channeling out again, it's because you need to hear the message, that there's a message in it for you, is what I'm trying to get at. Okay. Grounding. The first card out is grounding. So you're in a relationship, I feel like, with someone that doesn't make you feel that grounded. And it could possibly be because you have issues with being grounded, is what I'm feeling. And that grounded is just being physically present in the moment, in the now. And when we're in karmic relationships, we tend to not be. We tend to be in our mind chatter. We tend to be in what did happen, what will happen, what could happen, which then if we're in our mind, we're not able to act intuitively. So, which a lot of times, this is how we know that we're not in a karmically balanced relationship, and that there might be a lot of karmic. And again, self observation. I don't read my cards backwards, so I always start every reading off with my deck. So again, self-observation, which is having to look at oneself, right? So if we're in a relationship with someone that really isn't good for us, what happens is a lot of times we're always saying, is it me? Is it me? No, it's not you. What it is that you're with someone that's on a different vibration than you. So you're going to act more from a survival perception. You can't be like relaxed. And then, yeah, because there's a sense of maliciousness, which is mean, obviously. So, and that's how your person channels out their anxiety about the relationship is maliciousness. So you are in a relationship with a soulmate, twin flame, past life, karmic relationship, and this probably there's a lot of karmic contracts because if you're being asked to look at yourself and have some self-observation, well, everything's right there. So then let's look at what the wounds are. We're just going to take a look at see what the wounds are. Okay, aloof. And your person that acts malicious, like because they act like they don't care. And so if we're in a relationship with someone that's like, I could take it or leave it, I don't really care, then there's you're feeling like the person's really just trying to protect their heart. The person's detached. They have anxiety about the relationship. But again, they're going to act like they don't really care one way or the other about it. But the truth of the matter is that soulmate twin flames have a connection to each other. They can feel what the other person is feeling. So they can feel when the person's mad. They can feel when the person's sad. They can feel when the person is near, and they can feel when the person is far. And so your person, I feel like, has tried to walk away from this relationship several times. They've never been in a relationship that's been this deep. Been seeing a lot of that lately, where soulmate twin flame unions are coming together right now to help aid the world, really, because they're the yin and the yang. They're two parts of a whole. So you may say, "Oh, I don't believe that your soul has another half." Well, it's not so much that your soul, that you're not a complete person, but the shadow aspects of ourself make us not be able to tap into the that opposite side of us. So if I'm very intuitive and I'm very psychic and I'm very healing and I'm very spiritual and I live my life more from this right brain creative genius perception, I like to look at life through that. Well, I'm not going to be very good with logic and linear and structure and methodical and organized. That's not going to be my energy. So, and it might be because I wasn't raised in an environment to do so. And so I had to adapt and form other ways to navigate my life. But in that, I wound up bringing to me my soulmate twin flame that is the opposite, has the opposite energies that I have. Because again, they are the logical, linear, mental, strategic person, where again, I'm the opposite. So that's what it means. It means that that it's not that that person's really the other part, but they enhance you to the part that they really actually are the other half, because they're going to teach you, and they're going to teach you through the way that they live, the way that they walk, the way that they conduct their life. That is what self mastery is. And once we have self mastered, we're able to go out into the world and master other things and be of service at the highest level. And that's the level of God, which is unconditional love, which is giving and receiving of love. And in this circumstance, during this time within the world, how the world is evolving, it's to be of service, to help, to raise vibration. And so now weary is again, so this relationship for you, I feel like makes you weary. It's where it's like, oh, I'm tired. It's like, so this could be a karmic issue that you're with a person that that acts aloof, acts like they don't care, is always protecting themselves, and where they are triggering you to always look at yourself. But I think in that aspect, you both work as a mirror, and but where your person detaches and they act aloof because they don't want to feel anything, that with you, you feel everything because that's why you're weary. Because what does weary feel like? It's like, oh, I feel like someone's took the life out of me. I'm so depressed. I just feel like I could sleep forever. It's like, which is escapism too. So you're both mirroring the same trauma here. Aloof and weary is like forms of depression. Only one you don't really, feel and is camouflaged really well, and one is not. Like we can feel weary energy. We can feel like, oh my God, I'm just so depressed. I'm time. It's like I need to escape from this pressure. And really, this pressure here is the fact that you're trying to control the relationship. And I feel like, again, both parties are doing this because there's trauma, and there's trauma around relationships of abandonment. And so when people have that, and abandonment could be that you're in a relationship and now it's no longer intimate, or it's no longer loving. You no longer are friends. There's no longer trust. And so I feel like what happens then, it becomes like a power struggle. So I feel like, again, that whoever's listening is in a relationship with someone that is just, they're detached and they don't give, and they just, and it's because there's part of them that isn't 100% happy, and they don't know what it is. And it's nothing that I feel like you do. Now, again, this could be, the roles could be reversed, but there's a sense of maybe that it's so difficult. And I think it's difficult because there's been a lot of trust issues, especially when someone's aloof. It's almost like the person doesn't necessarily need to be gone out cheating and has gone out and done that. If they're not emotionally there when it's important, and because they're acting aloof, that they could be in this relationship or not, it would create a lot of grounding issues. And that's dangerous because then we're living more from like what has happened, and more from a survival perspective, and not from the spirit part of ourself, which is the God part of self, which is the part of ourself which is unconditional love, right? It's what connects each other to each other, because really all God is the universe. It's the stars, the moon, the sun. It's the universe, and the universe has laws, and those laws are, that you have to live a certain way and be a certain way. And what's happening in this relationship is there's a dynamic of past trauma playing out again, where someone is like, that feels like they're in love with someone that's very mean, that they're connected to someone that's very mean, that doesn't care, that's detached, that's aloof, that they don't really care whether they're in a relationship, and it makes you weary. So I want to see a little bit like what this person is thinking. Don't let negativity bring you down. So there's a part I feel like your person likes to try and get a rise out of you, that's trying to like get, because you don't, or this might be you actually trying to like, you're both being passive aggressive, that your person is acting like they don't care, and in that's a negativity. And then I feel like you're, again, saying things or doing things to try and get a rise out of this person, and then they might come back to you and say negative things, that you're in a power struggle. And this is where the negativity, it's like, because it almost feels like no matter what you do to try to get a response out of your person, to get them to show you that they care in a way that is suffice for you, it's always inadequate. So spiteful personality. So this is all the same thing as like maliciousness, spitefulness. Like almost on some level, you must have been brought up in an environment with someone that was abusive. Because it's like this spiteful personality that's not supposed to be loved, but you're not supposed to be fearful. Malicious energy is almost like, I feel like I can't trust this person, and that alone is like, again, negativity. But we say, like, how can you not let it? Well, part is to be grounded, because in the moment, in the now, you get the divine guidance, and also you're able to not react. You have control over like how you want to conduct yourself and where you want to put your energy. Because that's the thing, by this person almost not responding, they're almost getting a rise out of you getting crazy. It like feeds their ego almost. Like I feel like this person, like this was flipped over. I didn't pull it, but it's like it might mean something for someone that I left when I saw you with someone. So I kind of feel like there's been a lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because in the spiteful and malicious energy, there's been cheating, there's been infidelity. And this deck just flew out. Are you going to listen to me? So it's, again, someone is, again, in a relationship where they're trying to like convince or trying to like get a rise out of, but your person, as long as you keep doing it, they don't have to. And there's some sort of codependence and control. This is a trauma bond. This is this energy that is highs and lows and highs and lows. And it, at one time, it probably was a very intense relationship, where it would have felt like a soulmate twin flame, like a real thing. But this is actually a karmic bond. And it's a karmic bond because it's like the person feels like they're stuck in this relationship, and the other person's trying to make them want to be in this relationship. But there's no real communication. It's almost done through like manipulation of other things, whether it's the kid, you have kids, or whether there's money, whatever the connection is. And that's what the spiteful personality is. It's like, I'm going to manipulate you to get you to do what I want you to do. Instead of, even though you know that the person doesn't want to really be there anymore, or vice versa, that you know that you don't want to be there anymore, but you're not like being honest and open because you have ulterior motive, possibly again with money and children. I will see you sooner than you think. So I think that, like I said, your person, like even if you guys go back and forth, like it's the person never goes away long enough. They're not, so they may say they are willing to give you a break, are willing to, because they feel like they can't control, or I feel like, again, if you're with this person that's aloof and not really showing you anything, you may be saying, let's give this a break. But they're not really going to give you a break. I feel like, now, like I said, I feel like you're not really going to give them a break. And if you're the other person, you have to watch yourself, because your person that's saying, I'm going to give you a break, I will see you sooner than you think, they're not really going away. They're watching you, and they're watching you because on some level they know that you are not happy in this relationship. And so instead of them, being accepting of it, they're being angry about it. They're going to be spiteful. They're going to be manipulative. They're going to treat you like a child. Like, are you listening to me? But the truth of the matter is that both parties really need to look at themselves and not look at themselves that one person is being aloof and doesn't care, and the other person is being malicious and trying to manipulate the situation. It's both parties are being spiteful. It's like both parties are like in this weird power struggle. And so you really have to stay grounded in a situation like this, because the negativity will bring you down so fast, and it will drain every part of your energy. Every part of your energy. I feel like, whether, I don't know again which party this is, but the aloof person has also cheated. And so then what winds up happening is there's a sense of this person is also showing on every level that they don't really want to be in this connection, but they stay in this connection, and the other person that's with them doesn't want to accept that this relationship is finished. So they leave. They say that they leave, but they don't, because it's like, I'll see you sooner than you think. So even though I'm gonna say that I'm gonna leave you alone, I'm really not, because like, are you listening to me? Because I pretty much am in charge here. I pretty much own this. And this is what happens a lot of times when you're in a connection with someone that you have kids with, someone that you have history with. But I feel like the history here has not really been the most positive. I feel like it was a soulmate relationship, but all soulmate relationships are not positive. This is where karmic mates come from. This is where trauma bonds come from. I feel like the relationship must have went super fast, and both parties didn't really know each other. They might have known each other for superficial reasons, like what you look like, the money that you have, the job that you have, the car that you have, like what it looked like on paper, but not really from a heart, like, I know this person. And so and so what's happening is, it's like, whether this is you that feels unloved and abandoned, and and really feeling drained, like that you're not good enough staying in a space, or whether you're staying in a space because you feel obligated, so you're just going to act aloof and not care and be malicious in that way, because that your person, or this person that you were with, has had these issues. They grew up this way. So you're activating every single last wound that this person has. So you're not any better just because you're not saying anything. You're acting aloof. So the hidden truth, you speak to me through music. So I feel like, again, soulmate relationship. So again, a lot of painful songs, a lot of sorrow, a lot of like that is identified. And this is another way that the universe speaks to us, right? The universe speaks to us through music, through people, through situations, through experiences. I want to see what the karmic energy is, and then I'm going to close out. When I look into your eyes, I see the universe, and it activates me. So I feel like there's still a sense, like, again, whether you are the person that's very connected to this person, you really feel like they're your soulmate. You really feel like you're like that you guys are meant to be together. And I feel, due to the cards, that you're not. and that is, I believe that it's a little bit of delusional thinking. And I know I'm probably going to get a lot of slack for this, but the reason why I say that is because when we put so much time, energy, focus into something to make it happen, we believe that it can happen. And on some level, you have made it happen. But there's one thing that you cannot make happen, and you cannot make someone fall in love with you. That even if you found a lamp that a genie would pop out of, they would even tell you that. They would say, you can't make someone love you. So I believe you can emotionally manipulate. I believe you can scare the person. I believe that you've done this for a long time. And now that's why this person is like, I'm seeing what you're doing. And they're acting aloof and they act like they don't care. And they act like, so, either party, like, this is not a good thing, because I feel like that this is almost like I'm not going to say that I want to leave you, but all my actions are telling you that. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, at the moment that you give me space, I'm going to go out and run, which is why this energy came up, which is I will see you sooner than you think, because I'm going to say that I'm going to let you go. And I'm sure that your person, again, that which is why you're acting aloof to me, left when they saw that you were with someone else. But you're good now going to find them, and I'm going to see you. I'm going to see you, and I'm going to find you. So there's a real sense of mission. There's a real sense of like delusion, because again of how much this person gave, and again all the unhealed trauma that I believe that they grew up with feeling unloved. For this situation to play out the way that it has, it means that there has been unresolved psychological trauma. And unresolved psychological trauma occurs when you grow up in an environment where you did not feel loved, where you did not feel supported. And it didn't mean that you weren't loved and you weren't supported. Maybe you grew up in an alcoholic family. Maybe you grew up where there was a death in your family. So it's, again, that's for another reading. But in this scenario, we have a relationship that is a trauma bond where two people are bonded together, and after a while, it's not love that holds them together. It's usually money. It's usually some outside thing, which is based on a lower energy, like greed or some sort of, because really the spiritual lesson is we're down here to learn the lessons of love. Again, that we're loved, number one, that we learn the lessons of love through becoming love, through doing what you love. That's number one. And then connecting to people who you love so that you can, again, share love. And so we do learn the lessons of love through pain. Sometimes, again, we're all born into karmic families, and they mirror out different experiences, but it's up to us to break the karmic contract. This relationship here that just played out, this karmic contract is like, it's one person refuses to end the contract, and that's what the problem. I should say both people, because at any time we can say no. The one person's giving up their energy and is being allowed to be guilted and manipulated and feel bad, and the other person is delusional, like really is like, I see the universe in your eyes, I know we're supposed to be together, I know it, I know it, I know it, I know it, because they feel that they can, again, will it. But you can't will love. You can become love and then attract love. And when you do that, you live a happy life. This is not a happy life. And really, the message over time to live this way, someone's going to get sick, because there's so much emotion and anger and resentment and non trust that is such lower energy. So I wish anyone that's going through this healing. I do. Now, if you're looking for healing, you can check my website out at pureenergyhealer.com, or you can join my Psychic Soul Healer YouTube page. All you got to do is type my name in and it'll bring you there. All right. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Or my Virgo channel. I don't know which one I'm on. I think I'm on my site. Nope, I'm actually on my Virgo channel. So yeah, you'll have to check out my Psychic Soul Healer page. All right. Bye-bye.